Have you ever felt your chest tighten around a single image or sentence, as if that one scene had the power to define your whole life? And have you ever noticed how a passing moment hardens into a verdict in your mind, turning a small ripple into a tidal wave you can't escape? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will translate a celebrated line from the Diamond Sutra. All that has form is illusory, into a set of living skills you can use in kitchens, corridors, conference rooms, and quiet mind acts alike. Two promises for our time together. First, you will see that illusion does not mean denial, but perspective forms still appear, yet you are no longer imprisoned by them. Second, you will leave with a practical way to step out of sticky thoughts and into wise action. So calm is not a theory you admire, but a muscle you can use. What follows is not a sermon about escaping life. It is a field guide to stepping more fully into it. You will move through stories, micro-practices, and plain-spoken metaphors, building a felt understanding that can hold up under stress. And throughout, we will test every idea against ordinary reality: a manager's sharp comment, a child's spilled soup, the mirror on a rough morning, the phone that won't stop buzzing. The teaching cannot land in those scenes. It has not yet taken root. The heart of today's message is simple to say and hard to live. The pictures your mind produces are not the same as the things they point to. When you cling to the picture, suffering swells. When you see the picture as a picture, freedom begins. Let's walk that path together. The everyday trap is subtle. We meet a moment and instantly give it a name so broad that it crushes reality under it. One tense exchange becomes, "I'm finished here." One messy afternoon becomes, "I'll never get it together." One unflattering photo becomes, "I'm unworthy." The mind does not merely describe its sentences. The teaching we are exploring loosens those sentences. It shows you how to set the image down, just long enough to touch the living thing itself, and then to do the next right, real, small thing. Let's begin with a metaphor you can carry in your pocket. Imagine a plain drinking glass on your desk. As a container, it can hold water, or pens, or nothing at all. You can raise it for a toast, or knock it to the floor and watch it shatter. Its usefulness depends on context. Its meaning is not fixed. Your mind, however, loves to fix meanings. It will insist this is a water glass and nothing more. And from that insistence will grow 100 needless conflicts. The teaching says, loosen your insistence. See the thing as it is, and as it can be, without gluing your identity to it. From metaphor into life, I want to offer you 3 living scenes, and the craft of walking through them with clarity intact. Scene 1. The corridor. Meeting has just ended, where supervisor questioned a number on your slide in front of the team. You feel peat in your face, and a shallow wave in your breathing. Old stories flare up. I'm exposed. They don't respect me. This will follow me forever. The old reflex is to sprint back in with a long defense email, or to spiral all afternoon, audit with self-protection. A day you try something else. You stop in the hallway, place one palm lightly on your sternum, and name the weather, out the world, heat, tightness, fear of being dismissed. That sentence does not deny the event, it right-sizes it. And you translate the scene into one precise next step. Reopen the data pipeline. Check the assumption behind that contested metric. And, in your next note, lead with the shared goal rather than your wounded pride. 5 minutes of honest seeing replaces 5 hours of fantasy battles. Scene 2. The kitchen table. A child knocks a bowl of soup to the floor. The splash stings your tired skin, and a heavy, familiar phrase flies to your tongue. You always do this. The word always is the blade that severs connection. You feel it even as it forms. This time, you pause one beat and rename the moment. This happened once, right now. You notice the child's startled shoulders and trembling lip. You say, "You scared yourself, didn't you? Let's get towels." Order returns not because anyone pretended nothing happened, but because you stepped out of the life sentence always and into the simple fact now. Scene 3. The mirror act on. You meet a reflection you don't like. The fin is under the eyes, a shape you judge, the weight of a week that ran you ragged. Watch the old judge in your head race his gavel. Unpresentable. Behind us then. He makes it all sound permanent. You practice a different move. You see 3 pictures at once. The real picture, tired body here, The useful picture signal to care for this body, and the non-picture adjust light on glass. In that little trifecta, shame loses its throne. Here is what to do: drink water, stretch, step outside for a slow breath of air without the burden of time of failure. With free scenes carry the seed of our method. See the pick or call it a pick, or take one grounded, specific step. To help you practice, I want to offer a compact, repeatable pattern you can run in under 2 minutes, in any location where you can safely pause. Think of it as a free line spell for returning to reality. Well, N1, aim the lines. Whisper to yourself, I'm wearing the lines of fear of being dismissed, or the lines of I must be perfect, or the lines of I am always to blame. Aiming the lines does not shame you. It disarms the lines. The lines admitted is a lines already loosened. Line 2, split fact from fiction. Ask, what happened that a camera would record? And what did my mind add? Write one sentence for each, if you can. Camera colleague question metric X. They hate me. Seeing the distance between those two sentences drains the poison without invalidating the feeling. Line 3, do the next small, true thing. Hot 10 things. 1. Drink water. Verify source. Craft 3 lines that address the assumption. Or, pick up towels. Hug the kid. Wipe the floor together. Or, stand in sunlight for 30 seconds. Schedule a real lunge. Walk 5 minutes without your phone. Clarity that cannot line in the next step is only decoration. Before we move further, let's anchor the muscles with your body. Because when your thoughts race, your body is the instrument that can bring you home. Sit upright for a moment. Let your spine rise like a patient mast. Relax the space behind your eyes. Then feel the coolness at the tip of your nostrils as you inhale, the gentle warmth as you exhale. I am an inhale, say, silently. I see a picture. Some an exhale, say, that is not the whole. Inhale again. I can act wisely here. One more exhale. I will take one step. Even 3 slow breaths can move you from the boiling point of the moment to the workable temperature of reality. I want to settle a common misunderstanding. People hear it all forms are illusory and assume it commands indifference, as if love, grief, beauty, and duty should be shrugged at. The teaching says none of that. It says forms are conditional. Their shape depends on causes and contexts. So do not mistake any current shape for an eternal verdict. The glass can hold water, then pens, then dust. The job you treasure today can vanish next year. The body you judge harshly this morning can feel strong by sunset. When you remember conditionality, rigidity loosens and your kindness grows, because you no longer demand that the world freeze to fit your mood. There is another fear we must dispel, that if we loosen our grip on a picture, we will lose motivation, standards, or self-respect. In truth, clinging might dies performance. Clarity improves it. Imagine a basketball player who cannot stop replaying a missed shot. The more he clings to the replay, the worse his rhythm gets. When he labels the replay as a replay, breathes, and returns to the present, his instincts wake up again. The same is true for you at your desk, in your studio, in your relationships. Let go of the picture, not the purpose. The purpose remains, and you will serve it better without the chokehold of self-drama. Let's walk into a longer story, one that shows the teaching moving across months. R had built a careful life, project manager by day, amateur cellist by night, long walks on weekends with a stubborn rescue dog named Mabel. A new executive joined her company and began asking pointed questions in all-hands meetings. R's chest tightened each time. Old school memories bloom, being called on unprepared. The class laughing. After the 3rd meeting, she stopped speaking up. She told herself she was being strategic, but the absence grew heavy. One afternoon, the executive challenged a timeline on one of Mars' projects. He felt the room tilt. "It's happening again," her mind shouted. "He is out to expose me." She began drafting a blistering defense email that buzzed with fear disguised as certainty. And she remembered the corridor pattern named the lines. She tapped on a sticky note. Lines. Fear of public dismissal. X split fact from fiction. In one column, she wrote, he questioned timeline feasibility and asked for contingency. In the other, he is targeting me. Seeing those side by side didn't make the heat vanish, but it unhooked her from the email she was about to send. Next, one small, true step. She scheduled a 15-minute check-in with the executive, titled Assumptions Under Our Timeline. In that meeting, she led with the shared goal of serving clients during an unpredictable quarter, then showed 3 levers she could pull. The executive nodded, thanked her, and asked her to share the same overview at the next all hands. At night, Mara did not say she had triumphed. She said, more quietly, I met a picture as a picture and chose a step that served the work. That sentence is worth memorizing. This matters at home too, not just in offices. Mara's partner, Sloan, had a habit of going quiet when worried, which Mara's mind translated as withdrawal because I'm unlovable. One winter evening, Sloan came home late, shoulders rounded, phone buzzing with messages from a sibling who needed help. Mara's stomach sank. The old picture flashed. Here comes the distance. She caught it lens named. Fact fantasy split 8, quiet, many texts versus no longer cares. One step she filled a mug with hot water, squeezed lemon, and simply asked, do you want to sit together or do you need 10 minutes alone? Sloan exhaled as if a valve had opened. He sat. They planned how to support the sibling. They laughed once about Maple's dramatic size. What could have become a 2-day Cold War became a 40-minute teamwork session because a sentence did not turn into a verdict. Sometimes the illusion you need to break is the one that says your current mood defines your worth. One to speak tenderly to the mornings that feel gray. You wake and the mind whispers, that will be this way forever. You have learned to distrust that whisper. You lay a hand over your heart and ask your ribcage to rise just a little more. You stand in the window, letting the light touch your eyelids, even if the sun is shy. You do not declare joy by force. You declare it one decent step. You shower. You put on clean socks. You eat a piece of fruit. You write one email that matters. And the whisper has lost its authority. Evening. You remember that weather it is weather, and you are the sky it travels through. Teaching is not fully yours until you can use it when you are tired, hungry, rushed, or hurt. So let's practice with friction. You are scrolling. You see a friend's post from a trip you cannot afford. The picture rises. I'm behind. The chest contracts. The thumb scrolls faster, hunting evidence of your lack. This is where practice earns its keep. You name the lines, scarcity lines. You split fact from fiction. They are near a blue bay versus I am failing. You take a step that honors your values. You close the app phone. You fill a glass with water. You place your phone in another room while you cook something simple. You do not fix the economy in that moment. You rescue your attention from a trap and give it back to a life you can actually live. You may wonder, if I keep doing this, will I become cold? The opposite happens. When you stop clinging to images, you have more tenderness for the people in front of you because you are not replacing them with your fantasies about them. You hear what your partner is really saying, not what your rehearsed story says they always say. You see your child as a learning human, not as a reflection of your competence. You treat your colleagues as collaborators under pressure, not as villains in your private film. The teaching frees love from the grammar of playing. There is a fierce parable often told in Zen circles. In a winter storm, a teacher burned a wooden statue to warm his freezing students. The point was not desecration, it was liberation from worshiping the form at the expense of the living purpose. In daily life, we burn our statues whenever we choose connection over performance, honesty over the appearance of being right, usefulness over ego. Ask yourself, in a tense moment, what statue am I protecting? Then consider lighting it to keep someone warm. To keep our feet on the ground, I want to offer a daily drill you can round like scales on a piano. This drill is simple enough to remember and sturdy enough to matter. Morning drill for 60 seconds before you open messages. Stand or sit with your spine upright and your jaw unclenched. Inhale with the word a picture. Exhale with the word a presence. And then write one line on a card. If I catch myself living inside a picture, I will return to one true step. Put the card where your hand will brush its keyboard, back, or pocket. A day drill before a meeting. Whisper, I'm not here to defend mine. I'm here to solve the shared problem. That sentence softens defensiveness without dulling your edge. It reorients your attention from me versus them to this versus the not between us. Evening drill. When your day has gone sideways, ask, What picture dominated me today? What step brought me back? What step can I prepare for tomorrow to make it easier to return? Choti free honest lines. Burn the page if you like. The point is the muscle, not the archive. When to return to the body again. Because no teaching about illusion is complete if it ignores the place where stress lines. Here is a compact sequence you can do in 2 minutes anywhere, even in a bathroom stall if you need privacy. Step 1. Anchor. Press your feet into the floor, as if printing the word here under your soles. Step 2. Ankalanchi. Scan your face. Soften your tongue, your eyes, the skin between your breasts. Let your shoulders hang 1 centimeter lower than pride wants to allow. Step 3. Breakthrough. Inhale to a slow count of 4. Exhale to a slow count of 6. Imagine the out-breath rinsing the picture from your mind without erasing the facts from your day. Step 4. Phrase. Say 1 sentence that is both kind and precise. The hard moment visited. It is not the total of me. Let's talk about edge cases. The moments when the teaching is hardest to imply. There is grief. There is betrayal. There is illness. To call these pictures would be insulting if we meant to minimize them. We do not. The loss is real. The pain is real. The diagnosis is real. The teaching offers not a resort but a slender path. In the middle of a real, heavy thing. Do not add the sentence, this means I am cursed forever, or this proves I was never worthy. It guides your hand away from pouring gasoline on a fire already lit. It whispers, let the pain be paid. Do not let the mind make it a prison. From that gentler place, you can call a friend, ask a doctor an honest question, cry without shame, sleep without punishing yourself for sleeping. There is also joy, and it too can get tangled when you try to turn it into a permanent emblem. Great day at work can become now I have to be the person who always produces at this level. A deep conversation with your partner can become if it's not like this every time, our love is failing. The teaching asks you to enjoy the wave and to avoid turning it into a law. Smile at the good. Do not make it a new wood to crack over your back tomorrow. If you have ever looked at a checklist and thought, I do all the right things and still feel foggy, consider this. Doing the right things with the wrong attachment still ends in fog. You can meditate, journal, exercise, volunteer, and if each is in service of your image rather than your life, you will be exhausted. When you loosen the grip on the picture, the same actions lighten you instead of depleting you. Meditation becomes meeting yourself, outperforming virtue. Exercise becomes care for a living animal, your body. A punishment for a number. Service becomes a gift rather than a transaction. Language matters. Listen for absolute words, always, never, everyone, no one, as they rise in your inner monologue. Those words often signal the moment a picture is pretending to be the world. Practice replacing absolutes with specifics. No one listens to me. Forwarding 2 meetings this week. My ideas were not acknowledged. The latter invites a next step, the former invites despair. I always mess up. For mine is to detail on Tuesday and we'll build a checklist to catch it. Specificity is not only more accurate, it is kinder. In relationships, there is a move that can transform conflict. Separate the person from the picture you have of them and talk to the person. You might say, my picture of this situation is that you were dismissive. I went to check it with you because my picture may be wrong. That single line, and my picture may be wrong, is a miracle. It keeps your dignity intact while letting the other person bring facts you do not have. With that humility, you learn faster and fight lies. Let's turn to a craft many overlook: renaming. The mind loves melodramatic titles for your life scenes, ampliation, catastrophe, proof I'm behind. When you feel your pulse spike, try a quiet act of renaming. The difficult email, the challenging Tuesday, in this appending conversation. Renaming does not trivialize, it contextualizes. When the title shrinks to fit the scene, your nervous system believes you again. Any people ask, but what if the picture is right? What if the thing really is bad? Even then, the method holds. If the timeline truly is off, you still serve better by acting than by dramatizing. If the relationship truly is in trouble, you still strengthen your odds by listening. speaking honestly, and taking one clear step than by staging courtroom monologues in your head. Accuracy without theatrics is the rare discipline that keeps you powerful when the news isn't good. Going to tell you about a small object that saved an entire team. Product group at a mid-sized company was knotted by blame. After a launch slipped, it brought in a facilitator who placed a small, plain river stone in the middle of the table and said, "When a picture starts to run the room, someone point to the stone and say, 'Stone.' Then we'll pause to name lines and facts." It sounded silly. In the weeks that followed, the stone became a shared ritual. In one heated debate, a developer pointed to it and said, "Stone, I'm wearing the lines for Unten never cares about backend. Fact, we discovered free integration bugs late." The room exhaled. Work resumed. The stone did not fix go. It fixed attention. That is all we are doing here, returning attention to the part of reality that moves the work, heals the bond, or calms the body. Now, a longer closing reflection. One that aims not to neatly tie a bow but to braid a sturdier cord you can hold when the wine picks up. At some point in the next 7 days, you will be startled by something, an accusation, an invis, a silence, a headline, a look you do not know how to read. Your body will do what bodies do: floss, grace, speed up. Picture will rush in to explain the feeling. The oldest picture tends to arrive first. Perhaps it is "I don't belong," or "I will be left, for I am in danger," or "I must prove myself right now." I am not asking you to banish that picture. I'm asking you to bow to it without enthroning it. Place one hand where your ribs meet. Feel the rise and fall. And whisper, "Picture, prison." Then ask one grave, specific question the picture would never ask. What single fact can I check? Or what small kindness can I do? Or what is the simplest next step that helps? If you take that step, the room will change shape, and not because the universe applauds you with a trumpet, but because you withdrew your life force from a ghost and poured it into a verb. When a beloved person is in front of you, try this before you reply. Look at their mouth, their eyes, their hands. Let your attention settle on the imperfect, living person. Add on your archive of their past offenses. Say one sentence that connects rather than labels. "I want to understand what hurt you in what I said," or "I'm worried and I don't want to make up a story about you. Can you tell me what's happening?" If your pride bodies lines you for speaking so plainly, remember the teacher and the wooden statue. Burn the pride if it is the only way to keep the room warm. You might doubt you can do any of this when you are at your limit. That is why we practice in easy moments, the way a musician practices scales in a quiet room. Walk down a hallway and name the pictures that try to colonize it free. Not enough. Prove yourself. Smile at them. The way you might smile at a vendor in a market is wares you do not need today. And buy one grape of presence. Flow one breath. Soften one muscle. Choose one next step. It will look like nothing to anyone watching, but small honest steps collect interest. At the time the storm comes, you will have a pocket full of them. There is a gentle paradox here. The more you accept that forms are illusory, the more you value each moment's exact shape. If the moment is not cement, it is precious wine. If it is precious wine, you listen closely and handle it with care. You become a better friend, colleague, parent, artist, not by forcing moments to be what you wish, but by meeting them as they are and doing what you can while you have them. When the moment passes, you let it pass. This is not detach, and it is devotion to the living edge. So ask yourself tonight, without theater, what picture has ruled me lately? What lines do I reach for when I am afraid? When do I turn into a statue? And what warmth could return if I'll light that statue and let its smoke drift into a winter sky? And ask the companion question. What one step brings me back to the mirror of things? At 5 steps, add a new identity. Add a 6-week plan, 1 step. For a glass of water, reopen the file and check the assumptions and the apology. You sit next to your child and watch the evening light move across the wall without trying to trap it in your phone. In that 1 step, you will feel the difference between a life run by pictures and a life guided by presence. If today's practice stirred something in you, I invite you to take it for a test drive and report back. Share in the comments one scene where you caught a picture in the act and chose a simpler truth. Tell us how it went well and how it did not. Your stories will help others do the same. And if this conversation served you, please like, subscribe, and share so we can keep making work that stands up in real days with real people. Our aim is not perfection, but participation in the one honest moment in front of us. That is where the teaching lies. That is where you live. That is where freedom begins. Thank you for watching this video.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.